Hi, my name's Joe, and I love cars, and I love building cars. This will be the beginning of a build series for my first car, a 1986 Merkur XR4Ti. For the first few moments, I'll be boring and talk a bit and give some context information, and then I'll show you the state of the car as I found it in my parents' yard after having sat for about a decade. Hope you enjoy. With me. The car behind me, it's a 1986 Merkur XR4Ti, or everywhere else in the world, a Ford Sierra XR4Ti. This was my first car when I was a 16-year-old. I nicknamed it Ellie. So this is Ellie, and I just wanted to introduce you guys to Ellie and kind of give you a quick walk around. If you don't know a whole lot about Merkur XR4Ti's, I'll give you the real quick rundown. In the early 80s, Ford developed a saloon racing car, or a saloon car that replaced the Cortina. Bob Lutz was the head of Ford USA at the time, and he wanted to bring in more of a European influence. And so they decided to bring over the Ford Sierra XR4i, but use the 2.3 turbo from the Mustang SVO that they just developed. And they added the I, or the T, excuse me, and called it the XR4Ti. And they also created a new brand called Merkur, M-E-R-K-U-R. The correct pronunciation is Merkur, not Merkur or Mercure. So they built them and imported about 45,000 of them, of the XR4Ti, and they built them from 1985 through 1989. There was going to be a 1990 model, but it got the whole brand got canned. They're kind of a redheaded stepchild of the Ford family, so Ford really doesn't even acknowledge that it really exists. So unfortunately, that means that all of us who really like these cars are kind of on our own with parts. There's not a lot of reproduction parts, there's not a lot of body parts, not a lot of interior parts that are available. It's not like a Fox body, and it is not based on a Fox body platform whatsoever. It's a completely different car. This car I bought when I was about 15 years old, and there's a whole other story about that, which I'll get to later. But suffice to say, it's a thrilling tale, and I'm really excited to get it back on the road and back to how it was before, and how I envisioned it when I was a 16-year-old. Is how I'm going to build it now. Another note, sorry about the really messy shop. I'm not very good at keeping a clean shop. I'm going to try and do better. So without further ado, I'll give you a quick walk around. This was how I found the car when I picked it up after about a decade of sitting at my parents' house. As you can see, the car is in really bad shape. It's covered in moss and mold. This paint is completely destroyed after having sat underneath a tree and in the plain sunlight. All of the paint's just been destroyed, oxidized and faded. It's covered, as you can see there, in so much mold and grime. There's some body damage on the front from a tree limb that fell on the car. Tires are destroyed. The interior is absolutely gone. The carpet's completely destroyed. The headliner, the dash. It's been lived in by all kinds of animals, cats and rodents. The door panels are destroyed. It's missing one of the drivers, or one of the seats. But underneath, it's completely and totally rust-free. This is a Southern car,
since new. So it's at least got that going for it. And here is the car all washed up, or somewhat washed up, sitting in the shop, ready for disassembly. All the gross interior panels and pieces are sitting in the back. Paint looks okay there, but it's really not. The scuttle panel is broken, like they all are. It needs a lot of work. Underneath the hood, there's really nothing there. There's a close-up of the damage from the tree limb and a close-up of those German flag stripes that I'd put on when I was a kid, 16 years old. I thought it was the coolest. Under the hood, there's really nothing there. I just need to disassemble everything and begin the rebuild process and try and get it back on the road. Thanks for watching.